Good day, ladies and gentlemen. So since our engine has a broken piston, it is going to be time to take this out. So as you can kind of see, I already went through the process of removing a lot of the stuff that is going to need to be out of the way, not only here in the engine bay, as well as down here in the wheel wells. So I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the things that just need to be removed, unhooked, and out of the way before you actually get into removing a 4B11. The first things we ended up removing are the front bumper and the crash bar, the headlights, the radiator, everything pretty much up here. Now we're going to be doing a AC delete here on the car. So we ended up removing the AC lines, and we're gonna end up removing the compressor down here. You know, depending on where you live or if you care or not, you definitely need to get your AC removed by a professional shop. Just a heads up. You know, after removing all of this in the front, I kind of focused on this part of the car. So this was where, you know, the battery tray are, and the battery tray brackets that were here. And of course, just getting all this assembly out of the way, like the ECU and the harness. And in our case, since we have the Datsun heated sump, we just made sure to remove our lines here, and just to make sure these hoses are out of the way, so we push them back. And another really important part is removing the shifter cable from the SST. So it's usually placed, or should I say locked in here. So you just need to pop it out and move it out the way. You also need to remove power steering. This is probably one of the more messy things to remove. So just make sure that these lines are out and they're unhooked down here in these bottom parts of the engine bay. We don't have to worry about the lines, getting in the way of taking the engine out. Now, getting the harness out of the way is a little finicky. The hardest part, or the hardest area to take all of those cables out, is probably right here under the intake manifold. So really, I just had to remove the bracket that was holding the manifold that bolts in here and up here. And it was pretty much making it easier to, disconnect everything. And of course, we removed our vent to atmosphere lines for our catch can. So obviously, that's not going to be in the way anymore. I wanted to remove the manifold, the exhaust manifold back here, but I have a feeling, I think I know where that chunk of piston is, and I think it's interfering with being able to remove this. So we'll see if that's the case. And if you have the SST transmission, make sure to remove the lines that go to the SST cooler. Just make sure that they're not connected there anymore, and there's no fluids of any kind in the transmission. So see, there's a lot of little things that you had to remove to get to certain things. So we had to remove the heat shield back there for the firewall to make sure that we could remove the AC lines that were once up here, and just all sorts of brackets and things that you want to make sure you label, just so you know where they go back in whenever you have to assemble everything again. I mean, that's pretty much the engine bay. There might have been some things that I didn't mention, but the important part is that you just make sure that nothing is gonna get snagged or nothing's gonna pull, and just make sure it's all clear. Now for the wheel well, you are going to have to unbolt your sway bar end link to your sway bar, your outer tie rod end, and the ball joint that is connected to the knuckle of where your wheel hub assembly is at. You don't have to remove the control arm. I did, as you can see over there, but it leaves me with a little bit more room, and I don't mind having that. It's important that we remove our CV axle because obviously we're going to be dropping this whole assembly, and as you can see, we removed it. Doesn't take much. Just need a good pry bar, and you can basically wiggle it out and make easy work of taking this. Unless you live with a lot of rust, then good luck. All right, and so we get under the car. You want to make sure you remove or unbolt the downpipe at the very minimum. As you can see, I removed it completely. It was kind of a pain in the butt to do, but I just wanted more spaced, kind of like I was saying earlier with the wheel well. Another very important part to remove is this line that goes into the transfer case. You just want to undo it right here. As you can see, it's open. I just was covering it so it doesn't leak too much. And that way you don't run into any problems of this getting bent or anything like that. And then as you can see, we removed the drive shaft. Really, only thing you have to do is unbolt these nuts and bolts right here on the backside. Make sure to mark where they were before, so you know you can have it back to where it was originally. A mistake that I made that I'm gonna pay for is I removed the bolts that go to this housing. You do not need to remove this. That was my bad. I ended up stripping the top right bolt. I'm guessing because the exhaust freaking heated it up all the time, and so I know I'm gonna need to fix that. And because you are removing the downpipe, it does have this this O2 sensor. Yeah, make sure to remove this as well, not interfering or getting snagged when we're dropping the engine. Yeah, so for under the car, you undo your downpipe to your cat, remove drive shaft, undo the line for your transfer case, remove the O2 sensor from the downpipe. If you want the extra space, just remove the downpipe from the housing that mounts to the turbo. Other things that you also need to make sure you undo is this bolt down here that holds this joint for the steering rack. As you can see, I marked it with some blue paint marker just to remember where it needs to go. But yeah, remove that bolt because it will snag if when you drop in the subframe. So just make sure that you get that bolt removed. One other thing I didn't mention that I took off was the hood. I mean, this one's pretty light, it's aluminum, so I just decided to take it off. Just gives me more space to use this engine hoist. But yeah, those are pretty much the main items that you know, are gonna need to be removed or taken off or pushed out the way. I probably missed a lot of things. I just realized now that I missed that, you know, we took off the air intake. So yeah, so just wanted to cover a lot of the, you know, smaller detailed things that people don't really talk about when pulling a 4B11 from either Ralliart or maybe even an Evo X. Right now we're waiting on some links and some straps so we can get the engine properly supported. I did think about using some of the mounting points on the head, but I'd rather just use straps and just be a lot more secure and not have to worry about, you know, having to deal with possibly mounting this leveler to the wrong points on the engine. So that'll do it for this video. Thanks for watching, and until next one.